Hello and welcome to the Online Teaching Survival Guide for Chapter 5, Phase 1, Tips for Course Beginnings. This chapter provides you with 6 tips to ensure successful course beginnings. It describes the tasks to be completed to ensure a smooth launch of the course and the initial experiences that help to create a social learning community. 3 specific focuses involve the effective use of discussion boards, tips on developing good questions, and the final tip describes how your role as an instructor changes over the 4 phases of the course. An online course is made up of 4 elements provided in Tip 1 as the syllabus, weekly teaching goals, discussions, rubrics, and course sites. Some tasks for setting up your online course may include finding out who's responsible for setting up course sites and sending in a request. Later, be sure that you can access your site. You may want to review your course performance goals and learning outcomes. Review and order all textbooks you selected. Remember, it's important to prepare the syllabus and then standard course templates. Then prepare a draft of your assessment plan. After planning out the full course schedule, prepare a post-discussion and review action and plans for the week. You may also want to ask for feedback from other instructors. The second tip suggests facilitators to hit the road running. It provides tips on how to address a pre-week. In the weeks leading up to the first day of the course, provide time for students to access the course site, review course requirements, and post notes to get acquainted. Faculty should check the online skills of students, remind students of other members of the instructional team, email students to check out the course site, and lastly, ensure that students are familiar with the communication processes and resources that they will be utilizing. Tip 3 discusses how an online syllabus differs from a face-to-face syllabus. Of course, some aspects remain the same, such as providing course descriptions, performance goals, learning outcomes, content resources, and assignments. For an online course, facilitators may want to consider including netiquette, which are guidelines on how to communicate online, emoticons, communication patterns, plagiarism, expectations, assessments, and troubleshooting resources for students who might need assistance. Tip 4 delves into launching a social presence within your course. You can utilize applications such as announcement tools and discussion boards to provide live, collaborative time at the beginning of a course. This allows students to get acquainted and share about their learning styles and professional backgrounds. Tip 5 piggybacks on the idea that you, as a facilitator, must also get to know your students' minds individually. According to the Vygotsky zone of proximal development, getting acquainted cognitively posts allow facilitators to get to know how students think. It makes it easier and more natural to build association and relationships. You may want to ask students to individualize the course goals at this time. Encourage learners to post something that will help you individualize them, such as asking them, "What do you think is particularly unique about how you think?" Remember, linking students to these individual learning styles not only allows faculty to get to know their students, but it also helps build that social presence. Tip 6 transitions into getting into the swing of a course and the weekly routine. Facilitators should post regular weekly assignments that keep students engaged with the core concepts. Keep in mind that regular routines keep learners on track with the program. Weekly routines not only set clear expectations, but also help students to plan their daily lives. Tip 7 delves into the role of discussion boards in an online course. Discussion board activities provide an expressive space to process, analyze, and make connections with the core concepts. It gives all learners a chance for reflection of the ideas from the course. It also provides time and opportunity to explore, develop through collaboration, and build views. Tip 8 provides characteristics of good discussion questions. In order to develop great and effective questions, facilitators must use open-ended and explanatory questions. Require learners to inquire from within the evidence to support their answer. It's best to avoid objectives and factual questions with a single answer. The core foundational assumption of constructivist educational philosophy requires students to understand and use the core concepts, so try to create your questions that revolve around that. Make sure to try to use the 3 types of questions: factual, Socratic, and problem-solving questions that revolve around the constructivist educational philosophy. Tip 9 focuses on managing and evaluating discussion posts. There are 3 types of communication that occur during a discussion post: student to faculty, learner-to-learner, and experienced online learners, where students work in teams to review, analyze, and simulate thinking. Discussion boards are driven by student postings, so it's important to encourage students to exchange ideas through analysis and synthesis of ideas. The design and layout of your discussion boards makes tracking, monitoring, and engaging in multiple conversation threads very simple. Encourage students to talk about the topic and respond to each other's ideas to drive a multi-voice discussion. Rubrics should include time, when and how often postings take place, quantity, the appropriate length of a post, and content, resource-related, thoughtful, and substantive answers. Lastly, tip 10 delves into the faculty's role in the first weeks, its required and recommended actions. The role of a faculty's communication happens in a series of stages, from more involved to less involved. As the course progresses, the roles of faculty and students change. As learners become more active, the faculty moves to a facilitator role as needed. As students become more dependent, instructors can take a step back. Some guidelines to follow is to provide a virtual space for learners to collaborate. Be specific about instructor roles during discussions. Occasionally bring some Socratic questionnaires for more complex analysis. Design activities placing instructors in backgrounds and students as questioners, summarizers, and encouragers. In conclusion, after following all these steps, your students and the course should be well launched. Everyone should be acquainted, engaged in conversation, and interacting with the content. Enjoy and have fun.